collected a massive parlay at 12 odds. Let's break it down. First match, Ghent versus Union Saint-Gilloise, and honestly I think a lot of people are writing the host off way too quickly just because of their terrible end of the season, even though this match could easily become much tougher for the favorite than it looks on paper. Yeah, Gent currently look weak. 8 matches in a row without a win is already a full-blown crisis, and the biggest drop-off came in attack. The team simply stopped creating and finishing chances at the level they used to. Obviously, that's a huge problem before facing one of the strongest sides in the league. But there is one very important factor here: motivation. Ghent's season is not over yet. They are still fighting for European football, and they understand perfectly that at home they have to come out fully charged after such a disastrous stretch. And this is exactly where the home factor could become extremely important. Because even during this awful run, Gent at home still remained fairly solid defensively. In 6 of their last 7 home matches, they conceded no more than 1 goal. And that matters when everyone is already automatically expecting Union to destroy it. Especially because Union themselves are also coming into this game far from perfect mentally. Losing 0-5 to Club Brugge is a brutal psychological hit, especially for a side that spent almost the entire season leading the table and genuinely believing in the title. After defeats like that, teams don't always recover emotionally right away, and there wasn't much time to reset mentally either. Honestly, I think Union will not look nearly as confident and aggressively away from home here as they did earlier in the season, especially because away from home they don't always produce explosive attacking football. In 3 of their last 4 away games, Union scored no more than once, and that fits perfectly with Gent's ability to slow games down at home, even against stronger opponents. Guys, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post match analysis every single day and always try to keep my subscribers in profit. I also genuinely appreciate reasonable criticism and well-argued picks in the comments. I always read them. Guys, here's my Telegram and my stats. I work as transparently and honestly as possible. I even pay taxes as an individual entrepreneur. I am one of the few in this space who actually works openly and fairly. The link is in the description below. But at the same time, I'm still not expecting some boring low-scoring match, because both teams need points, and tension at the end of the season almost always leads to mistakes. Ghent at home will eventually have to push forward, because simply sitting deep makes no sense for them. And Union, after being humiliated Brugge, will definitely try to respond somehow. That's exactly how this game can open up, especially if there is an early goal in the first half. Belgian league end-of-season matches often turn into open football once emotion kicks in. That's why I really like the total goals angle here. Even if Union are not in the best emotional state, they still have enough quality and attacking talent to create chances. And Ghent at home can absolutely grab at least 1 goal themselves. So for the parlay, I am taking over 2 goals total, because 2 goals in match like this honestly feels like the minimum line. And for the crazy parlay, I am going with Union Saint-Gilloise -1 handicap at 2.3 odds. Second match, Mechelen versus Club Brugge, and honestly I think the bookmakers are massively overestimating how easy this game will be for the visitors. Yeah, Brugge are objectively in fantastic form right now. 9 wins in their last 10 matches is genuine championship level pace. Plus, after demolishing Union 5-0, they should be entering this game full of confidence. You can clearly see Brugge time their peak perfectly for the end of the season. And most importantly, the title is now extremely close. Basically 1 more win and they almost completely close the championship race. But ironically, these are often the exact matches that become the most nervous. When the trophy is 1 step away, the pressure increases massively, especially away from home against a team that also badly needs points. And despite Michelin's poor recent results, the hosts definitely haven't lost motivation. They still have a shot at Europe, and at home they will fight with everything they've got, especially because their home record isn't nearly as bad as people think. Yeah, they lose games, yeah, defensively they make mistakes regularly, but at home, Mechelen rarely completely collapsed. Only 1 defeat by 2 or more goals in their last 14 home matches. That's a very important detail, and it perfectly supports the scenario where Brugge win, but without humiliating the opponent. Because the visitors themselves also don't always play ultra-attacking football away from home. only 2 wins by more than 1 goal in their last 8 away matches is actually pretty modest for such a strong favorite. And honestly, this feels exactly like a typical tense end-of-season game. One side chasing the title, the other chasing Europe, both terrified of making mistakes. So I'm definitely not expecting wild open football here. Actually, the opposite. This could easily become a very tight, nervous and even close match in stretches. The stats support that too. 5 of Mechelen's last 6 home matches ended with no more than 3 goals, while 7 of Brugge's last 8 away matches also stayed relatively controlled, and that makes perfect sense. This is no longer the stage of the season where teams attack recklessly for entertainment. The cost of mistakes is simply too high, especially for Brugge, who understand that dropped points could reopen the title race instantly. So I can absolutely see something like 0-1, 1-2, or maybe even a difficult 0-2. Yeah, the visitors are stronger both individually and structurally, but Mechelen at home are definitely capable of making life difficult and preventing a blowout. That's why for the parlay I'm taking under 4 goals total, because everything about this match points towards a fairly cautious temper without a crazy shootout. And for the crazy parlay I'm going with either team to win plus both teams to score at 2 odds. I also brought down one more event as a single, but honestly, it can absolutely be added into the parlay too. Elfsborg versus Mjölby, and here I generally think people are underestimating the home factor for the hosts, because Elfsborg at home right now is extremely solid and stable. 3 wins in a row in 4 home matches is already a strong indicator, especially considering how reliable they've been defensively there. Only 2 goals conceded at home is one of the best defensive numbers in the league. And most importantly, Bjorn Hamburg's team clearly understands exactly that they are fighting for. They are only 1 point away from the top 3, meaning every victory could instantly push them into European spots. And it's at home where Elfsborg collect most of their points. If you include friendlies too, they are now unbeaten in 7 consecutive home matches. 6 wins and 1 draw. That's huge run. And it matters even more considering the defending champions are arriving here far from their best condition. Mjölby seemed to improve after a poor start and began collecting points again. But the 0-1 loss to Hacken showed once more that they are still far from their championship version. Yeah, away from home they've picked up points reasonably well, but overall there is no feeling that this team can just arrive and comfortably beat such an organized Elfsborg side, especially because recent head-to-head meetings on this ground clearly favor the hosts. 2 Elfsborg wins and 1 draw in the last 3 home meetings already feels like a trend, but at the same time I don't think this becomes a close match. Actually, a lot here points toward both teams scoring and lively game overall, because even while not being in perfect form, Mjölby are still a very dangerous attacking side. You don't just lose championship quality overnight. Plus at 3 of the last 4 official meetings, both teams scored. Elfsborg themselves see both teams scoring land in 63% of their matches this season. So this is a team that plays bravely, especially at home. They don't try to kill games slow. They actively pressure and create chances themselves. And that's exactly where the perfect scenario for my pick appears. I'm definitely not expecting some boring low-scoring football here. Too much is on the line for the hosts, and Mjölby after defeat will also want a response. And whenever both teams push for points, matches usually open up natural. But at the same time, I don't see some crazy one-sided distraction either. It's more like 2-1, 2-0, or maybe even 1-1 with a strong second half. So for the parlay, I'm taking over 2 goals total, because both teams are more than capable of clearing that line without the match becoming completely chaotic. And for the crazy parlay, I'm going with Elfsborg over 1.5 team goals at 2.65 odds.